Hey 40s fans, welcome back to another episode. It has been a hot minute since we've last chatted, but there is a reason. It is basically hinted in the title of this episode, Shingles Shin Dig. It's funny, I can actually laugh and smile about it now, but at the time, it was sheer hell. But I thought in terms of timing, it probably was the most optimum time to have it because it's just another topic and another notch on my perimenopause belt. Come join along with me on this unfamiliar and unexpected journey of yet another door that opens or potentially opens at this stage of our life. We just jump right into it. Let's do that. Like I had said, it's been about a month or probably a little bit more since my last episode. The reason being is that I ended up getting shingles, and it was a very long and drawn out process, mostly because I wasn't even aware it was shingles until probably a couple of days, close to a week, 5 to 7 days into it, because I've never had it before. And I had always heard that shingles is something that hits you in your older age. And by older, I mean like 50, okay? I'm still in my mid-40s. I still got time. But I had heard of it, but didn't really have a great understanding of it. What happened was probably about 4 weeks ago or 5 weeks ago, I had noticed that there was a rash developing the side of my right chest and around the armpit area. I didn't think anything of it. I really thought it could be any number of things. Like I mentioned in previous videos with perimenopause, I'm always running hot, like hot flashes galore. I had noticed I was sweating more and I was getting hot a lot more. And I just made the assumption this rash was because I was sweating more than I normally would. And I just thought maybe it was some hormonal changes or imbalance that my body just wasn't accustomed to. So I didn't think anything of it. Actually, I'm going to rewind it a bit because there was another symptom that I didn't think anything of that actually was linked to getting shingles, but because I'd never had it before, didn't really think there was anything to be concerned about. The first actual sign was pain, like radiating pain and an aching pain, but also sharp prickly pain around my armpit area and on the right side around like my chest area. I honestly didn't think there was much to that because at the same time, coincidentally, I had started working out heavier again, and I assumed it was a muscle strain. Ever since my hysterectomy, I've been gradually trying to adapt my workouts and have them become a bit more challenging and progressively heavier. And it was just my muscles getting used to and accustomed to a more demanding fitness routine. And it lasted for about 2 or 3 days. And I didn't really get any reprieve from it, and it didn't get any better. And then all of a sudden this rash appeared. I had mentioned I had started swimming. The first connection I made was perhaps chlorine in the water. My body had a reaction to it. I just assumed because it was something new that I was exposing my body to, that it was just my body getting used to being into a pool and being in chlorinated water. FYI, I will make my husband feel terrible till the day he takes his last breath, because that initial week, he kept saying to me, tough it out, it's not bad, it's just from working out, or
they're just a bunch of pansies.
It's just because you're sweating more. He made me feel bad, like I was whining and that I just couldn't tolerate it. That night, I was getting really hot, but I'm pretty sure when I look back now that it was a fever. I was waking up periodically throughout the night, and it was almost like prickling needles. You know when you feel like your legs falling asleep? So that's kind of what started with it. As the night went on, I kept waking up, and the sheer touch of my clothes, it was super sensitive and it was painful. And the very next morning, I was here at my cabin. The sight I saw it's a little gross, but this is what I saw. And That was alarming for me because the pain was still there. The rash had looked to have spread, as well as the rash had now developed little blisters. And the blisters were kind of clustered together and in certain areas, but it was only on my right side and kind of slowly wrapping around towards the back. Immediately, I was alarmed because the first thing that my mind went to was it had something to do with my implants. I was worried because I've had them for over 20 years, but I also have a cyst in my right breast that they've been watching on a regular basis. And I was worried that something had happened with that. Given my history of cancer, that's the first place my mind went to. Immediately panic. My husband said, why don't you just go to urgent care that's close by here? Because there's not a hospital near the cabin. So I went to urgent care. Of course, I expected to be there for a while. Checked in. They actually got to me a lot quicker. I'm not a big painkiller person, but nothing was cutting through the pain. And I was actually in tears. And the tears were partially out of fear, but they were also out of pain that I just couldn't manage. And I've had 2 kids, okay? I know pain. That was a bit frustrating and concerning for me. So I go to the hospital. The administration staff is amazing. When they go there, they triage everything. And they took me in probably within an hour and a half. There was a lineup of maybe 20 or 30 people ahead of me. So now, in moments like this, one might ask, where do you find the silver lining? How one can see a silver lining? Going to the ER, going to emergency, seeing doctors is a regular occurrence for my house. I'm watching what's going around, who's going in, who's going out. I had overheard from the administration staff there that they only have 2 doctors at the time. I'm going to be here for a while. But sure enough, they took me into my room and they gave me my gown. The ER doctor will come to you as soon as possible. 15 minutes goes by, the door opens. Who walks in?
Or you could just roll with it. Be flexible, see what happens.
I'm not flexible.
There I disagree.
You know what? I have been to the emergency many times in my life for a multitude of reasons. Need stitches, had allergic reaction. But the one time in 45 years that I come in looking like I'm on death's doorstep and I have a condition that basically makes me look like I have leprosy, I get to see Mcdreamy.
My God, why?
And I just thought, how ironic is it? It isn't ironic because I'm one of those people that has really bad luck. But for God's sake, could you cut me a break? I mean, don't get me wrong. He was a wonderful physician. He was so attentive and professional and very helpful. He was great. He was easy on the eyes as well. But like,
Oh, for the love of God!
do you know, I have never ever been in a room where I've taken my top off and someone has backed away from me. When he came in and examined it, he knew instantaneously what it was. Basically explained to me what potentially could have caused it and what to expect. I've never had someone look at me with such disgust that literally he was backing towards the door. And he had basically said, I can give you this medication. Ideally, it would be best if he had taken it. I think it's up to 72 hours when the first symptoms occurred. Now, I was either past that or just on the cusp of it. He had said that even if it is past that 72-hour mark, you can still take it. It may not be as effective. Or he gave me the medication. It lasted, and it was about 7 or 10 days. He had to take it 3 times a day. And then he gave me some things for the pain for the first few days. Apparently, if you've had chickenpox in the past, which I had when I was a kid in the 80s, it remains dormant in your system. It can reoccur later on in your life. And if it does happen again, it presents itself as shingles versus chickenpox. And I didn't know that at all. I remember chickenpox, when I had it, it was really itchy, but this wasn't it. It was painful. I stayed in a different room for a while. The first couple of days were definitely rough just because the pain, I had to be on top of my pain meds every 4 to 6 hours because the minute it started to wear off, the pain came in very quick. The first couple of days after taking the medication, I was a little discouraged because I didn't really see a huge difference. And I had talked to other people about it. And I was quite surprised to find out that a lot of my friends and people that I knew actually got it. Like, I thought this was rare, but A few of my coworkers and friends had it, and they were able to shed some insight and some like their own personal opinions and experiences. And over the few days following leaving the ER, the rash started to get itchy, and the blisters started to fill up with, I don't know if it was liquid. It sounds gross, but liquid. But now I was feeling this tingling feeling down my back on the right side. And how is it possibly spreading? Well, it did. Sure enough, probably over 2 or 3 days, I noticed the tingling, hot sensation kind of feeling like behind my shoulder blade. I'm assuming based on the conversation that I had with the doctor that I, in fact, had missed that window to take the medication where it would have its optimal effectiveness. So I just had to let it run its course. It still created those rashes in those isolated areas. They were all positioned in clusters. Kind of wondering why it was only one area. And when I asked the doctor about that, he had said it's had something to do with how nerves are attached to certain areas, and that's why it's only affecting one area and not on the other. I didn't really know the full understanding of it, but he said that's why shingles usually is an isolated area. They're all attached to the same nerve endings. I asked about it being contagious, and they had said, you're contagious as long as those blisters haven't scabbed and fallen off. At this point, they were nowhere near it. I really had to be very careful. They did get better, and slowly but surely, they all started scabbing. Probably about the 2.5-week mark, they were looking a lot better. I'm hoping over the next few weeks they'll continually fade. It's fully healed completely on the surface. I think it's just the scarring process that my body is going through. The doctor has said that if you're immune compromised or often stress is something that's a catalyst for this and triggers this. And it's no secret I've experienced many situations and levels of stress over the past 5 years. I'm actually surprised that it didn't come sooner, given a lot of the circumstances that have happened over my life. Nonetheless, having this happen made me realize I really need to let the small things go. I've always operated on high levels of stress, and it's sad to say, but it almost has become my norm. But having gone through this, I think it was nature's way of telling me I need to slow down and that I need to not let things, as difficult as it is, impact me the way that it does. This, for the first time, really made me take a step back and realize that this and this are so interlinked and so interrelated. So much of what you feel and experience does take a heavy toll on your physical state. I'm really trying to reevaluate certain stressors in my life and whether or not they should be stressors, and if there's ones that I can alleviate or eradicate in my life. I hope this somewhat entertained you, but also informed and educated you guys a bit. Another great chapter of the mid-40s. Not everyone goes through it, but your girl sure did. I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. I will really try to get back to this weekly schedule now that I'm feeling a lot better and I'm not dying of the bubonic plague. Feel free to comment if you've had shingles. Tell me, did you have it? Was your experience similar? Was it vastly different? I think we can all share our journeys and learn and teach each other. If you did like this episode, I would really appreciate it if you subscribe to my channel, and if you like this episode, and continue to follow me on my journey over the next few years to come. Thank you again for joining me, 40s fams, and I'll see you hopefully next week. Take care. Bye, gang.